Magic the Gathering leaks seem to be happening more and more now than ever. Is that true? Well, yes, it is true. There's been an astounding amount of leaks and spoiled cards over the last several months and years. But today I want to tell you about the long history of Magic the Gathering leaks. I'm not going to be going over instances where only a few cards were leaks. Instead, today this video is going to be focusing on the massive leaks, the ones where all the set was spoiled. So I'm really excited. I hope you do enjoy this one. If you do, of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But let's not waste any time on that. Let's jump in way back in 2002. Judgment. Yes, Judgment, everybody's favorite green and white set, for some reason, was leaked on Magic the Gathering Online. Magic the Gathering Online development team accidentally released all of the set to the beta testers, and of course, if you're gonna let Magic players see cards, they will find a way out to the public, and that's exactly what happens. The set that's widely known for the Wish set, we have Cunning Wish and Burning Wish, and Living Wish, all the wishes, and the incarnations of Anger and Wonder. But yes, this set was spoiled in its entirety to the beta testers. Remember, this is the early years of Magic the Gathering Online. And in May of 2002, they were finishing up the testing cycle, and unfortunately, mistakes were made. Somebody on the Magic the Gathering Online dev team accidentally released all of the cards, and yes, it did make its way to the beta testers. And of course, when you give Magic players brand new cards, they will make their way to the public. It was super awkward, and it definitely switched up the way they do Magic the Gathering Online releases. Of course, nowadays, Magic the Gathering Online has a separate release that usually lines up with the pre-release for paper, but this was a monumental moment in Magic the Gathering leak history. It was the first of a long line of a lot of sets getting leaked before they were supposed to. Just like on April 19th in 2011, when a young Les Alex was sitting down playing a game of Magic the Gathering with his cousin, and all of a sudden, my phone started blowing up because I was following MTG Salvation on Twitter and had post notifications, which, hey, by the way, you should hit that post notification bell icon, as did tons of Magic the Gathering players all over the world, as what is known as the God Book got leaked. And yes, it was the entire set of the brand new set that was about to come out, new PHYREXIA. This was insane. There was a huge God Book that was released, and the plot thickened from there because the Magic the Gathering World Champion and Level 8 Pro, Guillaume Matignon, and his team were the cause of the leak. He shared it with his good friend Guillaume Wafotapa, who is often known as the best blue-white control player on the planet. Their team ended up getting the God Book from a publishing company that was making articles on new PHYREXIA, and Guillaume Matignon shared it with his team, which again included Wafotapa, and someone else ended up leaking everything to the entire internet, and it was insane. What followed were bans, were all sorts of sanctions, and it really did, again, change the way that Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast proceeded with how they distributed their preview cards, and never again have they ever given a God Book to any kind of outside source. Nowadays, of course, they typically pick large media companies to distribute their previews one card at a time, and then of course some of the less impactful cards are given to content creators. This was absolutely unheard of at the time because Guillaume Matignon and Guillaume Wafotapa ended up playing in the finals of Worlds that year. It was a haymaker. It was a blue-black control mirror match with Jason Mind Sculptors and Grave Titans. It was an insane match, but it's just kind of telling that the two people that had the God Book were the ones to be able to take down and get into the finals of that tournament that year. They each received suspensions of 3 years. Their suspensions ended up getting cut in half. Wizards of the Coast had an investigation that decided Wafutapa and MTGO were not the ones that leaked it, so that was an insane one. Next, we move on to the 2017 foil uncut sheet of Ixalan. This one was absolutely nuts because it was an entire foil rare sheet that was pictured to the internet by a random source. It gave away most, if not all, of the mechanics and many of the key exciting cards from the set. It was a wild time, and the first time that we actually got a picture that didn't look like somebody had an old Nokia phone and took it behind the woodshed and snapped a picture. It was a very nice photo in what looked to be somebody's kitchen. It was a really nice wood floor and a picture of the whole sheet right there. Wizards of the Coast went out and arrested the person, and charges were pending. I'm not sure if the person was actually charged and had any jail time. And it was wild because 48 rares and mythic rares, as well as, again, all of the mechanics from the set spoiled and leaked in this one. It was crazy. It ended up being someone from the printing company, but this was absolutely one of the biggest leaks in Magic the Gathering history. Next up, in October of 2019, THEROS Beyond Death spoilers, unofficial or not, started popping up as individual cards posted on the internet, and a lot of the set's mechanics, just like from Ixalan, got spoiled. One of the key cards, Elspeth's Son's Nemesis, who of course was the protagonist from the story, her card was leaked along with a ton of other cards. This one, not nearly as expansive as the one from New Phyrexia, but still tons of the mechanics were spoiled. Tons of the exciting cards were spoiled. I remember when this happened as well, I lost my mind, and a lot of people were like, are these real? Are these fakes? Turns out that they were real. The big thing with this is these were spoiled months and months in advance. We already knew that Constellation was coming back. We already knew several other mechanics that were spoiled because of this leak, and it was just insane that this had happened so close to the Ixalan one. I mean, it was only a couple of years. Moving on to October 14th of 2022, 3 months before the release of PHYREXIA All Will Be One, we started getting previews for the Showcase card, Step and Complete foils. We learned all the mechanics such as Toxic, Corrupted, Proliferate, Oil counters, and even Poison counters. We knew way before the set was about to come out and be previewed that all of these mechanics would be included in this set. Another in the long line of sets that just had a ton of cards from it. Absolutely leaked before their time. And of course, we have to talk about the most recent one, the March of the Machines Aftermath. A YouTuber who I'm not going to repeat their name, you've probably seen the leaks if you're watching this video, leaked and apparently got his hands on several boxes. He took to his YouTube and he literally opened them up, trying to act like he had no idea what he was doing. At first, he was like, these haven't been previewed yet. Nobody's ever seen these. And then later on in the video, he decided to change his tune and say, oh, well, I don't know if these have been previewed. My personal opinion is he absolutely knew what he was doing. And then the aftermath, what came was Wizards of the Coast hired the Pinkertons, who then showed up at his doorstep to retrieve all the product. Now, I do want to say here that the Pinkertons have a very sketchy past. They've been known for some sketchy things in the past and have helped companies like Amazon, Union Bust. They are not an organization to trifle with. And overall, my opinions on the fact that Wizards of the Coast went out and hired the Pinkertons to show up at this person's door and intimidate him was not good and not the right thing to do. So I just want to make that clear. This person, although they should not have opened it, nobody deserves to be intimidated like that. Wizards of the Coast could have just as easily had lawyers get in contact with this person. I do want to make that very, very clear. And no, before you go into the comments and say, oh my gosh, you would have done that all the same. No, I wouldn't. No, there's no way this person torched their reputation, and they're blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast now, and no one in the content world is going to want to touch this person in terms of collabing with him or helping him out. They did get quite a few views, over 100,000 views. I think there was 3 videos in total opening packs, but still, I don't know if there's going to be any legal ramifications. There's definitely precedent. Based on the other stories, who knows? All I know is there's no way in hell that I would ever take to my YouTube channel if this were to ever happen, because honestly, it's not worth it. And ultimately, these kind of things are on the employees. Now, obviously, why does this keep happening to Magic the Gathering? Well, it happens occasionally in other trading card games as well. It just seems to happen so much more frequently in Magic the Gathering. And yes, in this specific case of March of the Machine Aftermath, I do think it was either a distributor that was shady, or a distributor that just didn't know any better, or an LGS that was shady or just didn't know any better. But either way, leaks seem to be happening more and more recently, and as you can tell, there's a long history of leaks in Magic the Gathering. What are your thoughts? Do you remember any leaks? What is a card that you saw leaked and were like super stoked to see it? Let me know in the comments below. We can chop it up and talk. If you enjoyed the video and you made it this far, of course, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell icon. Otherwise, hit me up on Twitter and TikTok. I make silly videos over there. And if you want to support the content, head on over to patreon.com/lessalex. You can check out all the tiers over there. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, I will catch you all on the flippy flop. Adios.